I once had a friend who yearned for the power of invisibility. He spent an entire day in a room surrounded by mirrors, banking on the fact that no one could see him. But boy, did he get the shock of his life when he caught his own reflection. Now what was he thinking, right? Well, let's be honest, haven't we all wished for that superpower at some point? Maybe when you're stuck in an awkward situation at a party and you're desperately looking for an escape route. Or perhaps when your boss starts scanning the room for a volunteer to work over the weekend. Yeah, then the power of invisibility doesn't sound too bad, does it? But alas, my friend's DIY invisibility experiment was a colossal failure. However, it does bring us to a much more intriguing subject, the real star of the show, invisible force fields. Invisible force fields. Sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? Next, you'll be telling me that my microwave is actually a teleportation device. Now let's dive into the deep end of the pool that is invisible force fields. Imagine you're trying to reach for that last slice of pizza, but your hand just won't go further. It's like there's an invisible wall stopping you. That's your mom's invisible force field working to keep your greasy fingers off the dinner table, or let's say you're trying to sneak out of the house after curfew. Suddenly your movement is halted as though you've walked into a wall of saran wrap. That's Dad's invisible force field, folks. Now in reality, invisible force fields aren't designed to keep you from late-night shenanigans or pizza hogging. They're a bit more scientific and a lot less fun. Think of them as magnetic or electric fields. You can't see them, but they're there, affecting things around them. It's like the force field that keeps your dog in the yard, except it's not your grumpy neighbor enforcing it, but nature itself. And just like that invisible barrier that mysteriously prevents you from eating just one chip, invisible force fields have the power to influence objects without any physical contact. Only instead of leading to regret and a new pair of stretchy pants, these fields can change the course of charged particles or create protective barriers around spacecraft. But before you get any ideas, sadly, we can't use these fields to levitate your annoying little brother out of your room. And no, they won't turn your microwave into a teleportation device either. Science is cool, but it's not magic. So, while we might not be able to use invisible force fields to hide from our bosses or to keep our siblings out of our room, they're still a pretty cool concept. And who knows, one day we might just be able to use them to keep our pizzas safe from marauding siblings. Now wouldn't that be something? Alright, let's do a quick recap of what we've learned today, and no, I promise there won't be a test at the end. Unless you count life itself as a test, in which case, my friend, you're in for a surprise. We kicked things off today with the invisible incident, a tale of woe and hilarity involving 3 cans of spray paint, a chameleon, and a very unfortunate pair of pants. Let's just say, invisibility doesn't always go as planned, especially when your pants decide to play hide and seek in public. Then, we dove headfirst into the wild world of invisible force fields. And no, we're not talking about the kind your little brother insists keeps you out of his room. We're talking about the real, scientific, yet still incredibly elusive invisible force fields. As elusive as that sock that disappears in the laundry, only to reappear in the most unexpected places like your freezer. Don't ask me how it gets there, it's one of life's great mysteries. We also had a good laugh over the notion of a world where invisible force fields are as commonplace as smartphones. Imagine walking into an invisible wall because you forgot where you placed it, or trying to find your car in a parking lot filled with invisible vehicles. The chaos would be unparalleled, and let's be honest, absolutely hilarious. But as we've learned, creating an invisible force field isn't as simple as waving a magic wand or pushing a button on your super secret spy watch. It's complex, it's complicated, and it's downright confounding. Kinda like trying to fold a fitted sheet or understand why cats have such an obsession with boxes. In the end, the concept of invisible force fields offers a blend of hilarity and fascination. It's a topic that tickles the funny bone while also sparking the imagination. And isn't that what makes life so much fun? So next time you're trying to be invisible, just remember, you might not be able to see an invisible force field, but that doesn't mean it's not there. Just ask my friend with the mirrors.